All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. My name is Gutsy, and if you're joining us again, welcome to part 2 of the Lego Technic Corvette ZR1 build. This is what we're building. I think we're gonna say that we got 50% of the way done with this, so we will see. But as we go on here, hey, I do want to give a shout out to a few people here. Let me double check through here just to make sure. But Drew Jr., thank you so much for the follow on Facebook. Should pop in there. Hopefully those alerts are popping with some sound too. I also want to give a shout out to T Forest 51. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Also, Fane Vision, thank you so much for the follow as well. Hopefully that'll pop in there. We'll see if it does. There it is. And last but not least, Nick Z85 or Nix85. Thank you so much for the follow as well. Welcome. Glad you guys could join us. Fantastic. Did that pop in? There it is. All right. So that's awesome. You guys are joining us. Welcome to the Twitch channel. Right now we're doing some Lego Technic builds, but we're going to be getting into some other things too. I'll switch back and forth, but right now my main community is on Facebook Gaming, and right now we are above 1,500 followers over on Facebook Gaming. So if you want to check me out over there, that's where most of our video game live streams appear. That is www.fb.gg/GutsyGuys. So go check us out over there if you're interested. We play a mix of survival games like DayZ, Rust, and mix of first-person shooters like Battlefield, Call of Duty, all kinds of good games. So check it out, and would love to have you join us over there. Jay Crawford, thank you so much. Hello, good sir. How are you? I am well. Thank you for asking. Let me know if you can hear the music a little better in the background. This is also going to figure out if we get any copyright strikes, which we shouldn't. I don't think we will. I'm going to post these through here real quick, and then we'll get started on the build. Jay Crawford, how are you doing? That's the question. All right, we should be good to go. All right, so part 2, Lego Technic ZR1 Corvette. This is what we've gotten done so far, which is pretty much the chassis and the front steering, as well as the gearbox and the drive shafts in the back, which with these, I've found out that like that's what a differential does. It allows these two axles to spin independently of each other. And at first I thought, what the heck's going on? And then when I pushed them both forward, that got this little engine part turning as well. So we're getting there. I think we're about 50% of the way there. We may finish this build tonight. So that's what we're looking at. Jay Crawford, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. I'm glad. Today was a nice day. It was about 61 degrees outside. Tomorrow's supposed to be high 65, so I am excited. I'm going to get outside a little bit tomorrow, and then we'll go from there. But we finished up into this point, I believe. I just want to double check to make sure that we are where we need to be. I think, yep. So we just finished part 68, or no, part 67. So I think we're on part 68, and we're getting ready to move to part 69. So I just want to double check in the instruction book where we're at. So I think 68. What that's showing is we're going on the yellow axle here, which I have not done yet. So that's where we're picking up, is step 68 on the Technic build. And you know what? If we're going to apply stickers here soon, I'm going to need to get some tweezers as well. But it looks like this... Oh, you know what? Oh, okay. So I'm figuring this out here. So this drive shaft in the back, what that's going to allow us to do is that's going to allow us to steer. That's going to allow us to steer the vehicle from behind. I'm just starting to figure this out in my mind. So I was wondering what this extra drive shaft back here was for, because this is going to be the back of the vehicle right here. This is going to be the front. And this was sticking out the back, and I had no idea what it was for. I kept twisting it, and the only thing it moves is that up front. But what I'm now realizing is there's actually going to be a mechanism that plugs in here and causes the wheels to steer. So what you're going to be able to do is steer the wheels by twisting that from the back of the vehicle. I just realized that. Pretty sweet. All right, so picking up the build. If you were with us last time, I told you the tips about using these bins. I actually ordered 6 more of these bins because some of the builds I have are much, much bigger. But the nice part about these bins when you're building Lego Technic sets is they open up, and these bins are removable. So when you separate out your parts, you can actually put the bins out in front of you, and that allows you to get through and sort your items and your pieces out. And if you're like me and you have pets running around that like to swat stuff off tables, you can put these back in the plastic bins and lock them shut so that you don't have to deal with missing parts because you had someone that thought it would be interesting to swat those parts and make them go away underneath a refrigerator or somewhere where you could not find them. All right, but we're running out of pieces. We're getting low. This is pretty much what we have left. And these are all going to be finished pieces. And we've got these rail pieces, but most of these are looking, there's a couple gears left, but most of these are looking like body pieces. And there's a few of the axles left as well over here. So we are getting close to getting done with this puppy. So we'll see how far we can get tonight. We may be able to finish this. If we do get to the sticker part of it, I will run and get a pair of tweezers real quick, because one of the most prominent suggestions I saw is when you're applying stickers, make sure you use tweezers, because if you get oil from your skin on the adhesive part of the sticker, they tend to degrade and fall off over time because they don't get a firm stick. So there you have it. So let's jump back into the build and get rocking and rolling on this tonight. Oh, hey, if you're not following me over on facebook.gg/gutsy guys, if you caught my stream last night, we did Rust. If you're a Rust player, they added a whole new transit system to the underground portion of the Rust maps. So if you're interested in Rust and you want something new to play around with, there's a whole underground transit system that they just added in Rust just recently. So check that out. That is awesome. I will be playing a little bit more Rust later this week, but we're also going to go back to DayZ on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time in the United States. We'll be playing on the Apocalypse of Enoch server. And then on Saturday night, we'll be back on the Apocalypse of Enoch server for some PvP action and see if we can't continue the action we had last Saturday night, fighting 50 in the crew. So I'm part of the Federation on the Apocalypse of Enoch server, and we've been fighting the Zod soldiers, and it's been a lot of fun. So we're getting some PvP. Scary Poppins has joined me. We're over there with Nasty Nerg and a few other people. So it's been a lot of fun. So join us Thursday and Saturday. Saturday will be at 8 o'clock p.m. Thursday will be at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time in the United States for some DayZ fun. But yeah, let's get back into it. Adding parts to it. And like I said, I think we're going to be able to get to really close to finishing. So what we're looking at here is finding these pieces. So there's actually a piece in here that has... There it is. Found it. It's this piece right here. We need this piece. And it looks like we need a yellow spacer. And along with the yellow spacer, make sure I put this back in the right spot. I think that's the right spot. Yep. And along with the yellow spacer, it's asking for a gray one of these right here. Boom. All right. So what do we need to do? So it's asking us to put a spacer slide it all the way down. Actually, you know what? We're gonna lower this. I can extend that out. There we go. That's a little bit closer. Maybe that's a better view. I think so. We'll play with that. This camera right here being in the way, we'll figure something out. Like I said, this is only the second time I've done a Builder Series set, so I am not totally sure how it's going to work out. But it looks like we're going to take this, put it in here. This is free slide, which means it's going to allow this steering box to go. Now, once we get that, move these up here and out of the way. So I've got room to bring this book in. So we're right on this part right here. So now we're going to insert it. Actually, we might be able to do this. Put the book right in front of us. That way we can see it. All right. Let's put this on. So we're going to insert this and make sure it inserts into the middle hole. I pushed it in too far. Middle hole on this, what almost appears to be like a rack and pinion steering type of situation here. All right, so this is what I was saying. So I'm using this gear in the back to turn it. And what that does is it turns that bottom gear. So this is what's going to turn the steering wheels, or turn the steering wheel on Corvette ZR1. That's pretty darn taut too. Not a lot of giving that. So Lego Technic is amazing me as we go. All right, moving on to step 69. All right, looks like we're gonna take, got a brown, and we're gonna go with a gray. Looks like a 3-to-1 crossover. We gotta find a 3-to-1 crossover. It's gonna be over here. That right there. So 3-to-1 crossover, brown, and 2 spacers. Actually, we need 2 of those. 2 3-to-1 crossovers, 2 spacers, 2 brown axles, or half axles. All right, so what is it telling us to do? So we got this. So we're going to insert spacer and then across. Then it's asking us to insert that. So we're setting it up just like that. We're not putting this all the way in. I'm going to guess that eventually we'll push this and lock it in place. We're going to set this one up too. Is that the same? We're going to do this. That way it looks the same. Yellow spacer all the way down. Pop that. Okay. Now what it's asking us to do, we're actually going to pop these on top of here and then insert them. Something doesn't look right here. Actually, that does. That makes sense. All right, so this actually, okay. So this is going to be the bracing arm up here at the top. So this is what's going to brace us. So we're going to snap it and lock it in here with these 3 pieces. And once it's locked in, we're going to push that through. So that kind of stiffens the steering mechanism, locks it in there as well. Smart, smart build. And like I said before, I feel like this is a really, really, like for someone to come up and build this, like this takes some engineering and ingenuity to get this done. I'm a bonehead, so I would not be able to come up with something like this. For sure. Not in my wheelhouse. There we go. All right, step 69 in the books. On to step 70. It looks like we're going to need 1 L frame. I think, what do we call those? We called those frames last time? I forget what we called them. One of these. We need 2 of our black pieces and 1 red. Oops. That's not what we want. These, I believe. Double check. That's exactly what we're looking at. So 2, 1, and 1. All right, so the first set we're gonna snap in here. Just like this. We're actually getting ready to install seats, which is pretty cool. I'm liking it. I want to double check. This is what we're looking at. Got our L, snapping that puppy in there. Now they got this arranged so that's directly up. Snap it into the first layer. And that's going to make me think that we snap it in at a later moment too as well. All right, so we got that. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to insert that right here on the side. And then we're going to lock it in with the push. There's one. And now it appears we're going to insert the first seat for the Corvette ZR1 build. So this is going to be, it's like a mechanism that holds the seat in place. Let's take a look at that build next. So now we move on to step 71. And it's asking us for, guessing this. So this is a seat. And then we need another L bracket, but this is a single L. 4x2, 4x1. And it's got that in the top of it. I'm gonna go like this. And it's asking for what these. And let's. I got a ton of those. I'll grab one of these. I think that's it. All right, so those are the 4 pieces that we need for step 71. So it looks like we're going to take one piece, insert it on this side, come up with that. This piece will actually insert all the way through. Whoop, right there. And then we're going to insert the base of the seat here, if we can. There we go. All right, we've got that built. Now it's showing us inserting this right here. Go ahead and attach the first seat. I've got it lined up with this hole, that right there. So I'm guessing there's going to be a body panel that attaches to that post right there. Some of these pieces are a little bit tight going in. There we go. All right. Seat number 1 done. I'm going to guess 72 will be seat number 2. That would be correct. All right, so seat 1 done. Now we're going to go back in. Need an L bracket. This is the last of our 4x3 L brackets, I believe. A red stopper. This right here. And 2 of these puppies. All right, so this one's a little bit different. Or is it? So we're going to insert up. 2 pins in. Hydro, what's going on, my friend? How are you? Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate that. Much, much appreciated. Hopefully your evening's going well. All right, so we got the second piece there, and then we're going to actually install this on the opposite side. So it's going to go in like this. Let's double check to make sure. All right, so we got the two, so we're going to insert, lock this in, and we're going to press this pin in right here. And that's going to lock that in there. Now we move to the second seat. We're going to need a seat, smaller L, which I think, there we go. And we're going to need one black post and then one of, just one of these. Of those right there. That side, I feel like that's different than the other side. All right, so we've got this here asking us to put the axle through, put the post through. Good to hear, good to hear. Snap that puppy in there. Let me know if you guys like the camera angles better. I know this one is kind of in the way of the face cam, but I figured it'd be a little bit better if we were closer in. The other thing I'm not liking is we got the glare. You know what? Let's try something real quick. Does that get too dark maybe? But it does get rid of the glare on the book pretty much, but it almost seems like it's a little darker. A little darker. I don't know if I like that. Kind of dark in here now. Let's see. I think we're light on or light off. You guys let me know. That's light off. This is light on. See, that's a problem with having top-down lights in the kitchen. Makes things, that glare that you're seeing right here and right here, that's what's giving me, see, like if we go like that, might be able to get away with this. That might help. So if you angle it, it actually forces the light reflection off towards me. That way it doesn't have glare. But now the glare is actually in my face, so it's harder to see the picture. We'll play with it. We'll play with it. See what's going on. All right, so back to business. We're on step 73 here, so we're going to attach. We're going to attach this part, which is the seat, right here. Boom. That's in. Now we're going to go ahead and attach next part here. Again, we want to line up top of the seat with the red tab, and then we got the push in right here. It's been a little bit hard to get. There we go. All right, boom. We got two Corvette seats in there. Excellent. All right, step 74. Now we're getting close to putting some trim panels on, I believe. All right, so we need 4 of these puppies right here. And it's telling us, what's it telling us to do? Okay, so this picture's turned this way. And it looks like it's telling us to add 4 opposite of the other 4. So basically we're repeating what we did with the chair, except we're repeating it on the other L bracket, which is at the base of the engine. Actually, I'm going to do the bottom one first. We'll put in 4 of those. I just feel like they're a little bit harder to snap in. To kind of make them face up a little bit too. All right, so we got our 4 posts in. Now we're definitely getting some trim pieces put in here. All right, so this is where we're gonna use this. So we got a 1-to-1 of that. So I got the 4 posts in. So we're now on step 75, and it looks like we have 2 3x4s. These. We have 8 our posts. There's 4, 5, 7, 8 of those. So we've got 8 of those, and then we've got 2 of these wings right here. All right, so these look like they're the front. They're all on the Corvette ZR1. They have the downforce. I almost want to say like front bezels, and these actually have numbers on them. I don't know if you guys can see that. Get a little bit of light on it. Go down. But these actually have numbers printed in here. So that's the first time I've come across numbers being printed, and they correspond with numbers here. So I'm going to guess you definitely have to install these correctly. Otherwise, these are some of the custom pieces I guess they had to make for this set. I'm guessing. So we're going to clear these off the page. Now it looks like first step is we're going to insert in hole 1 and 4 on the end. 1 and 4. One and 4 on the opposite end as well. Oops, that was 1 and 2. All right, there's 1 and 4. So we got that. Now we're actually adding in our 2 L's. Check that. So that's what it looks like on the page. Snap that into place. And we'll snap that into place. Hey, if you guys could also let me know if the music is too loud, I can turn it down. Or if suddenly the music shuts off, let me know. Because that would mean that we got a copyright strike, but we shouldn't get a copyright strike. We should be good. All right, so part 1 of 75 is done. Let's go to 76. Now it's asking us to insert on holes 2 and 3. Front. So there's 1. There's 2. And also what I'm doing is I'm kind of making sure that I'm letting these grooves line up too. It's like little specific grooves in these little combiners. They're slots actually. So I'm lining up the slots so they're kind of the same. Doing both on each side. I figure, why not? Makes it look better. All right, so it looks like these pieces right here will actually snap on here. So 22 goes on this side, which is correct. There's 1 and 21 side. Yeah, this is definitely the front spoiler. All right, so there you have it. So this is going to sit on the front lower portion of the car, and that's like the I don't know what you call that, a wind dam or a wind spoiler. Keeps downward pressure on the vehicle when it's going fast and needs to turn. Then we're going to insert that. Right. Middle. So that's our first trim piece. First trim piece going on this puppy. Things are moving fast too. That locks it in. So we got seats and trim piece in. Now we move on to step 76. Looks like we're going to need another 3x4L. And we're going to need a blue double pin. Looks like we're going to hold this like this, and I'm thinking we're inserting it this way. I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm not. That looks right though. Okay, we got that piece. Now it's asking us to insert it. Flip this puppy around. We're actually inserting it on the 2 pegs right here. Just double checking. So these 2 pegs right here is what shows in the picture. I just want to cross-reference and double check. And that's exactly what looks like in the picture. So we're going to go ahead and insert that, lock it in, and then we're going to repeat that process for step 77. 3x4 pin that says ×2 on this side. And it looks like we're going to go in. Okay. So this side is going to come in like this. It looks like we lock it all the way in. I think. And then this side is only going to go in the 2-hole 1 step deep. So right there. And we're on the same side. So now this is asking us to apply it to up front here. Double check the picture to make sure it's right. That's exactly what's shown. All right, so that's what we've done. So we've added this. So I'm guessing that's starting the frame for where we're going to add the body panels. Just pieces like this get added on here in a little bit. I'm getting excited. We're going to finish this tonight, I think. This is going to go fairly quickly, so it'll finish up rather fast. The panels are going on faster. This is going faster than I thought it would, too. From first jumping into this without having any background knowledge of Lego Technic to, like, I feel like we're not an expert yet, but we're pretty darn good with it. All right, so this is where we're going to start adding the first decals. So what that means is I need to go get my tweezers. Let's double check a couple things here. So we finished 77, that's in place. So that brings us to step 78, and we're going to need a straight 4. Is that a straight 5? Nope. Yep, straight 5. Check it. Nice thing is they have these 1-to-1 scales right here. So if you're not sure if the part is exactly what you need, you just lay it on the page right there. And it's a 1-to-1 match. So that allows you to add that. But we're going to add a ZR1 here. Now here's the thing. I want to make sure this stays on here. So there's a couple things that I'm going to do. It's probably overkill. I don't need to do it, but I think I'm going to. So I'm going to run and get a couple of Q-tips, some alcohol, and the tweezers. And we're going to place this so that we clean off any residue that's on here. And that will allow us to make sure that the stickers stick fantastically. All right. I think that's a much better view right there too. So like I said, I'm going to go get something to clear this off, and then we'll get that set up. So I will be back in just a quick second. I'm just going to run right in the next room. We're going to get a set of tweezers and some alcohol, and that'll help us clean it up because we are going to start installing stickers for the panels. So I'll be right back. Give me just a second. like I said, I think this is probably overkill. But we'll see if this actually helps. So a couple of tweezers. Actually clean this off. Just on the inside. Give it a pull. All right, so I've got tweezers. We'll use that for the sticker. I'm gonna grab a little, let's see. Just a little, something little to put in the alcohol. Actually, you know what? We don't need to. I will actually do it this way. All right, so we're gonna grab, I don't want to spill alcohol everywhere. We're just gonna dip the tip of the Q-tip in the alcohol, close it back up, wave it in the air a little bit. So we're applying decals. So I'm just gonna give this a quick wipe, clear off any oils. And that evaporated fairly quickly too. And then what we're gonna do is we'll let that dry. I'm gonna stick that Q-tip back up here so it doesn't fall on the table. All right. So we are looking for number 9. So these stickers right here are facing the same way. So I think what's gonna end up happening is on the build, one sticker will face reading forward from front of vehicle to back of vehicle, and then one will read forward from back of vehicle to front of vehicle, which makes sense because it's actually ZR1, otherwise it would be backwards. So we're just going to pull off first sticker like that. We'll grab our piece. And then the idea is to place this directly in the middle of this. Now the problem is the sticker is orange and the piece is orange. So it's really, oh man, that sticks hard and fast too. I don't feel like that's quite as centered though. But you know what? I'm not happy with that, but man, that stuck hard and fast too. All right, since this is our first build, I'll forgive myself for that, but it's not quite centered on the piece like I want it to. But as soon as that went on, it's almost like the static pulled it onto the part, locked it in. And it's not budging either. And once I felt it go down, it stuck hard too. So it's not going anywhere. So we might not need to prep this with alcohol. And I'm not going to try to pry it back up to restick it because that'll end up pulling that edge up. And that'll allow it to eventually over time peel back off. But these are pretty, I feel like those are pretty strong stickers to go on there. All right, so we're going to add this piece. And it looks like it's having us added in right here on the inside of these two pieces right here, which you look on the picture, that's where they are. So I'm hoping when I get to the other side, I'm gonna have to make sure, maybe offset's not gonna be a big deal because this word will be facing this way, but on this side, it'll be facing the other way. We'll see how it looks. It's a learning experience. We'll fix our failures on the next build. All right, so Corvette ZR1 there, we got that done. And it's only asking us to do that once. So I'm guessing that we're gonna build engine components now to finish out the engine itself. And then move from there. All right, stickers over here. Okay, so that was step 78. So now we're gonna go step 79. Looks like we're building an engine piece. It looks kind of like a piston piece. So what we need to do this, it's saying we need 4 posts with snaps, which are going to be, leave this one I need one of these and one gray axle. And it's asking us to insert gray axle into that piece. Then it's asking us for... Ooh, where are those pieces? Oh, here we go. It's asking us for one of these. And then it looks like we've got this piece facing this way. We're attaching axle this way. Let's just double check the pictures. The picture shows that and the axle coming in this way. Got it all the way in. So that's what we're looking at right there. Double check it with the picture to make sure it's right. And we're good to go. All right. Now we're going to go to 81. So that was step 80. Step 81, we're now going to get, appears to be one of these, the black axle. And we're going to attach black axle. Such. And then we're going to take it and insert it. That's up like that. Double check it, reference it to the picture. That's exactly what it looks like right there. We're gonna end up with a piece like that. That looks just like the picture. So now I'm good. All right, so now we need two of our longer pieces on the black. Makes me wonder. I only see one. It's asking for two. Nope, here we go. Nope, those are gray. It's asking for black ones. Uh-oh. There we go. I was getting a little worried there. All right, so double check. We've got 6 holes. These are 5 holes. That does not match. Or am I miscounting, right? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3. There's 6 holes there. These actually have 5. Do I have the wrong piece? Oh, no. Or, oh, you know what? They're talking about these. All right, so that has to be that. So since I can't find 6-hole pieces that are thick, we're looking at these, which are half the thickness of a rail. But we do have 2 of these. So that tells me that that's what we're looking for. All right. So we got 81 done. Now we're going to go to 82, which looks like we're going to take... And we're going to insert this like this. Insert this. Did I do that right? Okay. So it is. All right, it's telling us to attach 2 of these. All right, so we got 2 attached now. All right, so I attached 2 of those. Now we go to the next step, which is 83. Now it's asking for one of these tan clips. We got it set up that way, and it looks like we're taking the tan clip in this way. That's going to lock these 2 pieces together. And that looks just like the picture. Now it looks like we're going to grab a gray of these. And we're going to insert it this way. See, this is a little bit more intricate, so it's kind of making me nervous just a little bit. kind of making me nervous. But I think that's got it. That looks just like the picture. Now it looks like we're going to cap the other side. One of those. And one of our long black pins. Which... double check. That's one of the big ones. That would be what that is. All right, so let's double check it. All right, so we're adding this on. All right, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, I have a feeling this is going to kind of teeter this way. All right, so step 85. Complete. Okay, now we go to step 86. We're going to need one. This is our last of our gray. Nope, we got two more of those. All right, so we need a gray. We need a transition. That's a thick transition too. It should be. Let's double check here. Thick transition. This is where you start to freak out because you're like, where did I put the thick transition? So let's double check again. So I need one of those. These are all those. Nope, there it is. We're going to need actually... I'm actually going to pull all of these out real quick because I have a feeling we're going to use all these in this part of the build. We're just going to set them off to the side. Now that I've done that, of course, I'll look back in the rail box and I will miss it. All right, so we need also another one of these. So 1, 1, and 1. All right, so it's asking us, ooh, this is going to, all right, we're going to have to space this a little bit. All right, so this is again a 1-to-1 representation of what we're building. So what we can do for spacing is put this in and then align it so that we match up the spacing on this. So put the Lego piece down and then we'll push the axle in until it matches up with the picture. And that's pretty darn close. And that's the nice part about the 1-to-1 representation. In fact, I could probably push it back a little bit more. Double check it. I think that's pretty darn close. We'll see how that looks. All right. And then part 2 is we're inserting this right on the top. So we end up with a part like that. Then it's asking us to attach this through here, like that. Interesting. But I'm pretty darn sure what this is going to do is those little pistons, as you see on the front of the picture here, these little pistons right here, they go up and down as the car's moving. What we're building right now is what's making those go up and down. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. All right, so we got 86 done. Let's go to 87, which means we're going to create a second one of those. And that's probably what we're going to clamp on the other side. Okay, so we're going to make sure the piece is aligned correctly. Pop that in. Gives us what we're looking for. And then it does ask us to place it on the other side over here. Push it all the way in. It's pretty well aligned now. All right, now we're looking for 2 of the connectors. And it's asking us to place the 2 connectors in the top of the orange parts. 1 and 2. All right, so step 88 done. Moving along. Yep, these are the piston parts. Okay, now This is where we're going to start using these red pieces, which we have not used yet. So let me double check what we need here. All right, so there's a couple custom pieces in here. We need one of these. One of these. We're going to need a gray. Yeah. There we go. We need one of these. And one of these right here. Okay. So now it's going to ask us. See, that's got a number on it too. Oh, yeah. Okay, so 3. So this number corresponds. So there's a little number. I don't know if you guys can see that. But there's a number 3. There's a number 3 printed in the plastic right there. So it's showing us to go this way and insert it in this way. So pay attention to those numbers. And then what we're going to do is insert this into the end of 3. And we're going to insert this, that. So that's what we end up with, is a piece that looks like that. Then it's asking us to put that piece down here on this part. Push it all the way in. Okay. Ooh. Now it's asking us to attach it to the front of the chassis. All right, so we did 89. We got that. So now we're going to go to 90. And let's double check. Okay, so we're actually building the left side of the chassis here. So it looks like, so these are push-ins. So what's going to happen is we're going to push those in and they're going to lock it into the front of the chassis. But before we do that, we need to insert this. I'm going to guess right here between the ZR1 and the post. And we're going to tilt it down. I see what that did. That allows us to make that level. And then we're going to pop these in the front. Lock this piece in here. Nice and smooth. Bless me. Excuse me. I had to sneeze there. Goodness. I apologize. Normally, if I'm in my regular streaming rig, that would be silenced out. You guys wouldn't have to listen to that. All right. Fantastic. So step 90 done. Now it looks like we're starting to make the smaller engine pieces here. So step 91, we need a small yellow, 1-to-1 matches. And we need one of the double blacks. So where are those? Be this, I'm guessing. Okay. So what it's showing us is to insert. See, that's got a number 3 on it as well. So I wonder if this has a 3 printed on it. It does not. It says 3. Interesting. But it's asking us to insert partially. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a grade double like this. And we're going to take it at a 90 degree. We got this set up. We're going to turn this 90 and stick it through there. I believe that's what it's asking us to do. Something that looks like this. Go. We got that. That is the spitting image of the picture we have. And now it's asking us to take 2 of our plugs and insert them in this way. These pieces are kind of intricate too. I'm really impressed with how this is coming together as well. There we go. All right, so we got that piece done. Now we go to step 94. Looks like we're making the next piece. We're going to set that off to the side. So we need one of these and a gray. This is a little bit different. It looks like we're going to take this piece and we're going to insert it here. It looks like this piece, insert here. So that's what the picture looks like. Then, interestingly enough, now we're getting another trim piece here. So step 95 is this trim piece. Oh, wow. Okay, this is... All right. So it looks like we're going like this. I don't want to mess this up. So we're marrying these pieces like this right here. Just want to double check. That's what the picture's showing me. So we're going to snap it in. We got 3 and 22 right there. That's what we got. Good. On the next step. Ah, here we go. Now we're going to attach this to the chassis. But on the opposite side, where we had it, it looks like this is going to attach. Okay. But all right, there we go. Okay, so we got that on there. So it looks like, I'm guessing the front's coming. Yeah, I don't know if that looks like what it looks like on the picture. So I'm happy with that. All right, good. Now it looks like we're going to go on to the next step, which is do the other side. All right, I'm getting a little nervous, a little nervous. All right, so we're building that one. So back to step 1. So we're going to need one of these. We need a small yellow. We actually have 4 of those pieces left, so I'm wondering if we're going to be using all those. All right, that's not a yellow. That's brown. Okay, so now we're going to go with the same process, but in the opposite direction because we're making the opposite side. And now we're going to grab this piece, turn it at 90. Slide it in, push it all the way down till it just barely comes out the other end. Right about like that. All right, so we got that. Now it's asking us to do 2 more pin posts. And this is the part where you kind of feel like you know what you're doing and you want to go fast, but just be careful. Go slow. I can't tell you how many times in the past I've thought, oh, well, I know how to do that piece, and I end up putting it together backwards. I did that with a basketball pole. Like one of those home basketball poles one time. Because one part was putting it together a certain way, and I thought, oh, well, I have the same exact parts on the other side, and I put those together real fast, and I ended up messing up the basketball pole when I put it together. Because I locked the piece in and then we couldn't change it. We had to get it pulled out. So I messed up. So don't think you know what you're doing. Make sure you know what you're doing when you do it. That way you don't end up doing something boneheaded like I did there. All right, where's that other gray piece? We're looking for, okay, there it is. There. Here's the other thing too. I'm seeing unequal numbers or unequal parts. So I'm wondering if Lego just added some extra parts here and there, just to be safe. Okay, and we're gonna take our number 3 here. All right, so we gotta make sure we do this right. So we've got this, and it looks like we're gonna insert it at. That's what the picture shows. And that looks like what we're gonna get coming off. So yeah, it's gonna come off this side like that. All right, good. And then next body panel, I believe is this one right here, 21. That is correct. And looks like we're gonna slide this in just like that right there. Double check it to the picture to make sure we're not gonna mess it up. Lock it in. And then step 102 is asking us to insert it on this side. Push it all the way and lock it in. There we go. All right. Front end's coming together nicely. Very, very nicely. All right, step 102 done. All right, step 103. This is the front portion. So we need a 4-post, right? No, that's a 5-post. So I believe use our 1-to-1 representation. Got our 5-post, or 5-hole, and 2 pins. And it's saying put it in hole 2, 4. Go. And then it's telling us to attach right here. Done. Attach it. All right. Oh, steering column now. All right, now we're getting to the other interior trim pieces. Nice. So we did step 103, now step 104. We're gonna build what looks like the steering column. So I wonder if the steering wheel actually, I don't think it does. I think it's just gonna be for looks. All right, but we need one little red piece. Where were those at? Right over here. We've got one red, one black U-joint. And it's asking us to insert that here. And then it's asking us to grab a 3 U-joint. I believe is this right here. And it's asking us to put that on top like such. And push in the rest of the way. I'm actually going to use another piece to make it flush. Maybe a little bit too much. There we go. Can't be too perfect. All right, so that gives us piece 105, which is complete. Now we're going to go 106, and it's got a blue peg, which is a long peg, which I believe is this right here, and we got a short peg. And looking at the picture, it looks like we're going to take this long peg, insert it in hole number 1, till it snaps, and short peg inserted in hole number 2 until it snaps. So we end up with a piece looking like that. Now we're going to grab an L piece, which looks like a 4x1. That is not the piece I'm looking for. It is the piece I'm looking for. We're looking for a short blue like that. All right. Now it would appear, I want to double check this. We are inserting that into there like that. And we're going to insert this here. We're marrying these two pieces together. And Popping that through. All right, that was step 107. Now we go to step 108. Another custom piece. Where is that custom piece? So we're looking for one of these and a bridge, one of these. We actually need two of those. So these are the last of these parts that I have. Okay. Now, so do that times 2, it says. We got that. Then it says to snap this one on here. Double checking. So this is blue, and we're going to snap that onto blue. That's what the picture's showing me. That's up, and then we're going to snap this one on black. Now we end up with a piece. Looks like that. And then custom trim piece, steering wheel. And it looks like a blue post. So we're going to go ahead and attach that to the steering wheel. And then the steering wheel is going to attach bottom post. All right, so this steering wheel for the car. So we're going to go ahead and set this up. This is the bottom piece, I'm guessing. Just to make it look nice, we're going to go steering wheel, bottom post down. I'm going to line it up so it's straight. Kind of keep everything symmetrical. All right, now once we have that built, it's asking us to reverse positioning here, and then we're going to place this. How do we place it though? That's the question. This is going right. Oh, I see. Okay, so we're actually attaching it to these two blue posts right here. So I was confused. The picture doesn't show it, but there's two blue posts that we put in earlier sticking out right there. So this is actually going to pop in right there. All right, there you have it. Steering wheel, seats, not too shabby. That's a little loose, but what I'm guessing is going to happen is we're going to have some posts that'll go in here, and that'll lock this into position. And my guess is that it's going to be body panels. When we add the body panels to the side, there'll be a push-in that'll lock this into position. All right. Step 110 is done. Now we're getting to some big body panels here. All right, so this is actually, all right, so we're adding another decal too. So we need one, it's like long post. We need that one long tan post. We need a 3. It's gonna be this, and we need 2 of our, double check that. It's not what we're looking for. We're actually looking for one of these and one of these. All right, all right. Okay, now the next piece we have is this piece right here, I believe. Yep, that's the single piece. All right, so we got that there, that right there. And it looks like it's asking us to insert this post this way. So that's going to insert like that, and then we're going to fold this. Okay, we're going to push this through. And then we're going to push the tan one through the opposite direction. And the reason why I know that is because the block portion of this is right here. In the picture, it shows the block portion here on the upside, which is blue, and then tan is going to be the block portion on the other side here. And I'm guessing this is, I wonder if this is actually going to be a hood that opens and closes. Because this one fit tight, this one fit loose. I'm guessing that is going to be the case. All right, now it's asking us to apply our next decal. Let's take a look at this. So this is actually the hood scoop. So this is going to cover the whole top of this car. But I'm interested because there's these little spacers here. That means there's going to be air underneath the sticker. I feel like there's just enough alcohol still on here. We can clean off any debris, but we'll get some more. This goes back to my model building days. One of the biggest struggles I had as a kid was adding the decals to the models. All right, so this one I need to pay particular attention to. Because it needs to be centered. You see, it's going to be very obvious if it's not. We'll dry the alcohol off of this. What's going on, Kyle? Oh, nice. You're using the emoji. I love it. Beautiful. Sub emojis. You got to love it. Kyle, man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that sub. You didn't need to do that, my friend, but I do appreciate it. Thank you. That's awesome. And it says you were the first. That's why I like Twitch. Because there's the little extra things. Like on Facebook is good, but like with Twitch, there's like the little extra things that you can do that I really like. All is well, my friend. All is well. Hopefully you're doing well. But we're getting ready to apply this sticker right here. And if it's not applied correctly, it's going to mess up the whole build. If you've ever watched my DayZ streams, when I build houses and buildings and stuff, you know that I'm kind of OCD with the way things go. And if it's not right, like my viewers always say, oh, nope, it's not straight. Blow it up. Get rid of it. All right. All right. Man, this is sketchy. I feel like I need to use my hands with this one. All right. So it looks like this is going to actually be a really close fit. Oh, no way. That was a pretty nice lay right there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy with that. I think that's as good as I could have gotten it. To the naked eye, that looks pretty darn straight. Yes, I do like, even like the little things, like see how these posts have slots in them? Like that little slot right there. Like what I've started doing is I'm like, when I build, if you just pop the piece in, all these slots could be facing different directions. I'm actually making sure that all the slots are facing the same direction on the parts. But look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That, I don't think we could have laid that any smoother or fancier than that. Fantastic. All right, so after applying the sticker, the next part is we're going to add this 3-piece right here. Like that. So we got that piece done. Now it's telling us to marry it to the front part. So this is what we've got done. So we've got our ZR1 sticker here. I was not happy with the way that one laid down. So I'm a little disappointed in that one. The problem is there's a matching sticker that's going to go over here on this side. So if they're not perfectly on the middle, they're going to look odd. It's just going to look off. But the thing that'll save me is the ZR1 on this side faces that direction. The ZR1 on this side will face the front direction. And I think that will help to cover up my mistake, or at least my misalignment of that. All right, so this is telling us to install this right here, I believe. So I'm going to double check the picture to make sure that it's right. So the picture looks like this, and it shows us taking this, and it looks like we're installing it right here on that post. And it's going to come back like that. And I'm hoping that when we add to this build that that's going to lock it in place. All right. So, step 111 done. We're almost done. I think we're going to finish this tonight. But what were these two pieces for? To explain it. So now we got these next two pieces, which are going to... Oh, wait. Wait. So it's saying one of these. So we're going to grab it. Oh, okay. So that is... All right. So we are locking that in. Wait, where was that other part? Oh. See, it didn't show this. So that's a... Oh, it shows it right there. I missed that step. Oops. Yeah. My fault. And again, big hole right there. You look at the piece, there's like a big indent right there, but on the other side, it's pretty flat with a small hole. So we're going to make sure the small hole matches up with the other small hole. Just, again, to make it OCD and look nice. Because you don't want, like, different pieces looking a different way. So now it's uniform. So if you look at it, you got two small holes at the top as opposed to the two big holes that were there. All right. So now it looks like we're going to lock this piece into position with another 3-piece. And this is where having small fingers helps because my fat fingers are not working. Looks like we got it. All right, and that locked it in pretty good. Ooh, and I'm guessing this is going to snap down on that. All right, 112. Got the 3-piece. We locked it in at 112. Now we're up to 113. And it looks like for 113, we are going to need one of our little red posts. One of our orange, those. One of our gray. This is the last one of these gray pieces. And we need another one of these. All right, so step 1. So we're going to insert this here. Now, I've built one of these pieces before, so this seems very familiar. This is actually the opposite side, I think. All right, and it looks like we're going to add that in here like this. And then this piece is going to come over on this side. I'm going to snap it in right here. Double check it, make sure it aligns correctly. That is correct. And there you go. All right, 113, done, in the book. Excuse me. I think there's like pollen in the air or something. My eyes have been bothering me, and I've got a little tickle in my throat. Excuse me. All right, next piece. Looks like we need a 2x4. One of these right here. And we're going to take 2 of the big snapping posts. For these right here. And these pictures aren't as detailed, so I'm wondering if this is a repetitive part. But it looks like we're taking... Looks like we're taking this and popping it through this way. And this one we're popping through hole number 2 this way. Stage 1. Then from there, coming into this part right here. So this is giving us this part right here. We're just mirroring it on the other side. Double check. Lock that in. Now I haven't pushed this in yet. I haven't pushed this. Ooh, is that the right piece? Yes. All right. I got a little scared there. It looked different. It looked different. But it's not. Okay. All right, so we got those 2 pieces in. We got that. So step 115 now is we're creating the last L bracket piece, which is a 4x3. And we're going to take one of these long puppies. And it looks like we are going in this way. Hole number 2. I feel like that's what's happening there. It's getting detailed here. I'm getting a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. This is this piece right here, so it's gonna snap on right there. So let's double check. So we got one post in here. The bully's on the other side. I don't see it in this side. So it's telling us to go ahead and snap it into place right here. Okay. Oh boy. All right, got that. So that ZR1, that other ZR1 piece is going to go right there. So it may be that that next piece is the ZR1 piece. So that was 115. We got that done. Yep, 116 is the ZR1 piece. All right, so here's where we got to make up for our mistake on the other one. All right, so we need a 5 post, which is this right here, which is going to go right there. Clean this off real quick. Okay. So we're going to apply the other ZR1 sticker here. But what happened with the other one is I'm going to apply this brick in and this way. So I need to kind of match the sticker up just a little bit. The other one. That's not going to work. Ooh, no, 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 no. Uh-oh. Oh boy. All right, we're having some struggles here right now. I think we saved it though. All right, that was a better lay. Although it's not gonna look same as the other one. But like I said, because it goes the other way, I don't think it's going to matter. Because the ZR1 logo is facing the opposite direction on either side. All right, so we got that one. So let's go ahead and snap it in. But the other thing as a builder, when you build something, if you make a mistake, even though it looks perfect to someone else on the outside, you know on your inside that that mistake is in there. I don't know how noticeable it is, but this sticker right here, the one is more back towards this post here, whereas this one is not. But because these are transposed of each other, that's what saved me a little bit there, so that it doesn't look too bad. Like, it's not noticeable because of the positioning. I think we can get away with that. But like I said, always in the back of my mind, I will know that this sticker on this side is not quite where I want it. All right, next is 117. So we need 4 of the big posts with the double locks. We got 4 of those, and it looks like we're going to use the 1-to-1 ratio to make sure we have the right piece. And that is the right piece, and it looks like we need 2 of those. So we're looking at the picture. We're going to go ahead and insert in 1 this side. Go in partially. So it's up, and then we're going to insert 2 from the outside on the other side. And it looks like we're going to do that 2 times. Now this is what scares me. I guess we're just going to do that. Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to be pieces like this. All right, so I did miss this step earlier. So this step, let's go back real quick. Where was that step? There was a step where I needed to push these in, but I didn't see it. It might be all the way back here. Ah, there it is. Yep. Okay, so step 90. I missed that part right there, where you push those pins in. All right, so we know those need to be pushed in. Got that one. And we're going to try to get that one. There we go. Perfect. Now, this part snaps on the outside. Looks like we're matching up end to end on the front. So we snap that into place. And then it says to go ahead and push the pins in. And then we're flopping it on the other side, mirror it. Locked in. Goodly deal. Popped. 17 done. On to 18. Ooh. All right, so this is where... Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? I don't think those actually move. So I may have been wrong in that. All right, so we need 2 of these posts right here. These are actually going to be the engine piston areas. We need 8 of these, which I believe are going to be the last of our little yellow pieces. So this is moving along quickly now, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting closer to the end. We're going to finish this by the end of the stream. All right, so we got our 4 yellows. We need 4 of the locking posts. And we need 8 these little brown stop posts. I have a feeling that's going to be all of these posts. There's 4. There's actually 2 left. 2 left. So that's everything. Oh, no, we need 8 of these. God. One more. There we go. And it only said 4 of those posts. Okay. So now we're putting together the piston block here. This will be the interesting part. So that's this part right here. So the picture is showing us we need to take that. Let me double check my 1-to-1. Make sure we got it. Good. We're going to add 2 of these. I think so. This is definitely set up. When these wheels turn, it makes this little crankshaft right here in the middle. I'll show you. So what's going to happen? I'll see if I can get it done. So when the wheels spin, that little crankshaft goes. So what's going to happen is these little yellow pieces are actually going to look like pistons in the engine, and they should move up and down individually with the movement of the engine. Ah, yeah. So, okay, this makes sense now. All right, so here you go. All right, this is actually pretty cool. This is actually going to look pretty decent. I was wondering how they were going to do this, and now it makes sense. So what happens is when you put these little spacers on at the end, it caps it so it stays stationary. You guys are going to like this. This is actually pretty cool. And I did that correctly, yes. Almost looked like I didn't do it correctly. All right. So that's what it should look like, and that's what we've got. So what'll happen is, see how they move independently? So those pistons, or that crankshaft is actually going to make those puppies pop. That is pretty sweet. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. All right, now it's asking us to insert the first of the pistons into this side. Just like that. And the 2 spaces go to the front. And it lines up with the crankshaft in there too. We just got to get it snapped into place. All right. Now watch. Okay, hold on. We're going to do both real quick. We're going to do both because we got to do the other side real quick. So we're going to make that twice. I'll make sure we do this right. We definitely want one on each end. And it looks like it's just going to be the same repeated process. Make the heads of the pistons look nice. Have a little bit of the brown piece come out. Not too much. Not too much. All right, I'm liking this right now. We're going to call this the Happy Little Pistons. A little Bob Ross for you right there. Happy Little Pistons. All right, now we add this puppy in here. We'll go ahead and double check. That matches the picture. And we'll snap it in. All right, so here's the cool part. Take a look at this. So when the wheels spin, that makes those little pistons go up and down. I'm wondering if they're supposed to go in line like that. We got a hanging piston on that side. Might have to lube that one up a little bit. All right, I'm getting too excited about this. All right. Okay, that was step 118, done. Step 119, looks like we need one of our, is that gray or is that black? That looks gray to me. Is that black? Nope, that's black. Check our 1-to-1. We need one of those, and we need 2 of our number 3 pieces. It looks like we're going to take, insert it like that, and insert it like that. We're going to take 2 of our red inserts. Put them on the ends. Uh-oh. Getting text messages. Alright. Boom, boom. We got that. Oh, so this is going to be the headlight assembly. Alright, so we got 120 done. Now we're up to 121. This is where we're going to grab those specialty clear pieces, which we had 2 of, right here. 2 of the specialty clear pieces. 2 more of the red pieces. This is the last of the red pieces we have. So we know this project is coming very close to an end because those red pieces are disappearing. We've had several pieces disappear now. So we're getting to the very end. And then it looks like we need 2 these orange pieces and 2 of those pieces, but in black. And really, as we get to the end here, all we have left is pretty much panel pieces to put on the outside. All right, and 2 of these. So that's what we're working with here. All right, so what's it show us to do? So it says take an orange, insert your red, then insert a black over top. So we stack orange, black, and then double check. So these are symmetrical. So it doesn't matter whether they go up or down. So they'll look the same regardless of how you put them. So there's the first one. Here's the second one. So I have 2 headlights, and then it's asking us to now insert let's double check here. So that's what the picture's showing, and then we're inserting these like this. But why won't it go in? There it goes. Locked in and in. There we have it. That's identical to the picture. And the numbers are even showing correctly. If we wanted to change it, we'd go like that. Same exact thing upside down. All right. On to piece 122. So we're inserting that in the front. Right here. On these 2 double posts. So we have the 2 double posts right here that are sticking up. So this is going to snap on like that. We're going to reference with the picture. Now I'm going to turn it this way. Maybe not. So mine actually looks different than the picture. You know what? We're going to change that. We're going to change that. Because this is a piece, we want that to go. Or can you change it? I don't know that you can change it. Oh, you can't. Okay, that makes sense. All right, that makes sense. So what happened here is I'm looking, there's a 3 printed on here, but as I built it, doesn't matter how you build it, the 3s are going to be pretty much in different positions. So I was thinking maybe we can get them to line up the same and look exactly the same, but we can't. Even if you flip it, let's see. You flip it that way and turn it, it's not going to change. It's still going to be in that position. And even in the picture, it shows in that way. It's exactly what it looks like in the picture. So that's why. All right, let's go ahead and install this. So we now have our headlights installed. And this build is coming together quite nicely. All right, so we have a little bit of an issue here. There's a hang up because the piece below is actually pretty flimsy. When you push down on it, gotta get these lined up to go. There we go. Both have to go in at the same time, otherwise they're not going in. All right, we'll give it a little under pop here just to make sure it's locked in. Good, goodly deal. All right, now step 123 says, fold your hood over. Squeeze it down on top of this part right here. All right, let's double check our pistons to make sure they've got clearance. They do. Pretty cool. And our steering. That works as well. This is pretty cool, man. I'm not gonna lie. I've been enjoying this a lot more than I thought I would. I'm excited for the other builds we have. I think we might do the Ducati next. The Ducati will go quickly, but yes, this is awesome. Gosh darn it, where's Lego Technic been all my life? Like I said in the previous stream, I had erector sets when I was a kid. I loved building the erector sets. This is kind of the same, but not as intensive with like all the nuts and bolts and washers and all that stuff that goes along with it. All right, so 123 done. On to 124. All right, now it looks like we're making... Ooh, this looks like it bends too. Oh, this... Okay, so this is different type of material. This is actually a bendy type of material. So it looks like what we're going to do is we're going to use two of our end transition pieces. And we're going to add that to here like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to snap that on here. So let's double check the picture and then we'll add it to it. So the picture shows us snapping. We can do these both at the same time. So this is what adds the curve to the front of the Corvette hood. Locked in. Oh, and snaps underneath the hood too. Perfect. That's pretty darn nifty. Not gonna lie. Look how that curves in. Fits. That's pretty snazzy, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, pretty good. All right, next piece up to step 125. Things are moving quickly. So now we've got what piece is that? It looks like this piece right here. This is actually the tail piece. If you're familiar with Corvettes, you'll recognize that. It looks like it goes this way. So we need one of these and 5 of these black pieces. So we're going to set this off right here. Need one more of those. And then from here, it looks like we're going to turn this over this direction. Looks like it's this way. So we're actually going to insert... Okay, this is odd. This odd configuration. So, but I'm guessing this has something to do with the build. So the picture shows this. So it's showing us inserting 2 right here. Now I'm also lining up the slots in the little black connectors, what they look like on the picture. I don't know that that's a super huge deal, but don't know that yet. Looks like we're going to go on the left side here. Turn that way. We're going to pop 2 in over here. And that might also have or make a difference in how these pieces slot up and snap together. It might make it easier, because if you have them turned opposite ways, it might make the snap not as efficient. I don't know, just a random guess. And yes, I'm using the tweezers to turn them a little bit. Just as easy to use my hand. All right, so there's step 25, 125 done. All right, 1-to-1 ratio. This matches. This is the last of the gray pieces we have, and it looks like it's telling us to have a gray piece and a 3 red, or a 3 orange, which is that right there. And then we're going to add this piece right at the edge here. Snap that into place. And it's telling us to add the gray piece like this. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know. And I feel like this is supposed to be facing back, but if we take this and put it like that, it makes no sense to me. So now I'm getting confused, like this part right here. Maybe, okay, all right. How is that the undercarriage though? So maybe that's the underside of the back of the Corvette. That's confusing. Like this has thrown me through a loop, because originally I thought it would be this way, kind of like this. So that's the actual back part. But with having this piece, that means that would be sticking up. But that's exactly what the picture shows. So I'm a little confounded. So let's go to the next one. And we'll see how this all fits together. All right. So we need an orange L. Just going to be this, which is a 3x4, and we need one of those T's. There's a couple different ones of these that are different. I want to make sure we get the right one. Oh, there we go. I knew we had those. I knew we had them. All right, so let's double check. So that's this piece right here. So we're taking this L piece like this, and we're inserting this in hole number 2. Long ways. So that's exactly what the picture looks like. Then it's asking us to insert it like this. I want to double check. So we're middle hole and then middle hole. All right. Still not sure what this is going to be. Oh, okay. It makes sense now. I see. I see. All right. All right. Okay. So that's all those pieces put together. Now it makes sense. So now we're going to marry this across the bottom. Haha. Let's double check. So we're going to make sure we match it up with the picture that we're looking at, which is this right here. So we are inserting. So this is facing this way like this. So we're inserting that across. We're snapping it in right there. Genius. Genius, Lego. Genius. I for sure thought that was weird. I thought it was the back, but it was not the back. All right, step 129, which is the opposite. Same piece, different build. So we're reversing that build. So we need 4 of these. So now this time, we're going to put the post on the opposite side. Okay. So my brain doesn't hurt anymore now that we figured out what exactly is going on here. Don't second guess Lego. They know what they're doing. All right. Then we need a 3-piece. This is the last of our 3 pieces. And that puppy snaps on here like this. Come on, baby. Get on there. There we go. That locks in like that. Got that. And now we're going to go to another one of our T's. And it's calling for another 4x3 L piece. We're going to take this, insert it in hole number 2 here. Like that, and then we're going to insert that piece right like that. There you have it. Now we're going to take this piece and marry it up on the other side of this. So you reverse the position of the vehicle. You know what? I want to double check something here. Okay, that makes sense. This piece right here, I was wondering what was going to happen, but there's a separate piece here that they're using to snap that in. So it's going to be a little bit different than what this side was. Let's go ahead and marry this baby up. Go. Excellent. Now it's asking us, this is our last one of these red pieces. Oh, you know what? I think this is for the door so that it can open. Does this have a door? No, I don't think it's got a door. All right, so that one red piece, lock that in there like that. So that's what the underside looks like. Pretty snazzy. Pretty snazzy. I'm impressed. I am impressed. Okay, 133 done. Moving along quickly. More body panels. All right. 3x4. Boom. We need 3 of these. 2, 3. 3x4. All right. 1 post on the outside. Groove facing that way. 2 posts on the inside. Grooves facing that way. Okay, now right, so that's what I just did. Now it's asking us to take one of these. All right, so this is weird. Okay, so, oh, I see. I made a mistake. That's a 3 post. All right, so we're coming on this way. So in this picture up here, it looked like it went in the top hole. It's actually going through here. So I got to pay attention to where the arrow goes through. So the arrow goes through the 3 hole down. And that makes a lot more sense. And then what we're going to do is we're going to attach this to the back of that. And again, using the arrow going through the bottom hole, we'll marry these 2 pieces together. Like that. All right. Now, looks like we're going to take wing piece number 17. This is wing piece number 18. So this is wing piece 17. And we need 2 of these. We need 2 of those. It's going to have us put a decal on here too. Oof. Gonna have me do it now. Oh man, here we go. All right. So we got these pieces. Let's put the decal on last. We'll put these parts in first. So it looks like it goes this way. And then we're inserting in the bottom hole. And we're going to insert in the second to last hole at the top. And then we've got to do a decal. So now comes the part that gets a little bit sketch. All right, so these are actually the ZR1 and the Grand Sport also have these vent inlets. Normal base model Corvettes do not have these, which is why I like the ZR1 and the Grand Sport models, because they actually have the air vents on the side, so it gives a little bit more of a sports race car kind of look. Stick that puppy up there. Make sure that's dry. So we're going to marry sticker number 8. And also the stickers have numbers. I don't know if you guys can see that. This is sticker number 8. That's sticker number 6. So pay attention to the numbers because that'll tell you exactly what side and where they go so they match up right. So we need to match up 8 to the 17 panel. And since it says 17 right there, we know we've got the right panel and the right sticker. And it looks like this matches up right on the edge there. So we're going to take our time. With building this. Because I don't want to mess these up. Because if I mess these up, they will actually look pretty odd. All right. Nice and slow. Slow and steady. And like I said, there's a little bit of static electricity with the sticker and the piece itself. And the other problem with this is the piece is green, or it's orange. So it's hard to tell if you've got it lined up right, but I want to leave a little bit of space. I think that actually pretty darn good. That's not bad. I just need to make sure the spacing on the other side is even like that. All right. There you go. But yeah, these side vents at the rear part of the engine front quarter, that's indicative of a Grand Sport or a ZR1. Typically the Grand Sport will have an extra bag here, or an extra badge that says GS1 right there. Whereas the ZR1, I don't know if those, they might have a badge that goes across there that says ZR1. Might. Not sure. Okay. Now we're going to marry these two parts up, and it looks like it goes this way. And there we have it. Sticker on, part built. And then this part moves. So it looks like they got it angled slightly. All right, on to step 137. This is where we get to actually use the extra parts here. We need one of these and 3 of the small pieces here. All right. Double checking just to make sure. All right, so the piece is headed this way. We're going to stick this in the top. We're going to stick this right here. There you have it. And then it looks like, I'm wondering if the doors will actually open on this vehicle. I feel like these are allowing the door to actually be opened and closed. So now it says reverse the panel, and you're going to insert these this way. I'm almost 100% sure now the doors might open on this. Okay, double checking the picture. Everything matches up. Locked in place. Now we're going to reverse direction again. And it looks like we need one of these and one of these. And on the, oh nope, we need a, there we go. So this is going to insert here. Looks like we're going to insert this pin in the last hole. That right there. There you have it. Now it's asking us to marry it to the chassis in the engine compartment. Let's see how this goes. That goes on there. All right, very good. So maybe these doors don't open. That's what we've got now. It's getting there. All right, so I'm guessing the next one is going to be to build the other door. Looks like we got a 4x3, 4x3, 3 posts. Got that. I'm going to do just the opposite on this side. Okay, this is where I made the mistake last time. So pay attention to the arrow. We've got this facing this direction. Just like this picture right here. Looks like we've got one. So we got 2 on the outside here. And we've got 1 coming just below facing the other direction. Easy cheesy lemon squeezy. Then we take our yellow 3-piece. Looks like we're going to attach it this. Backside slightly leaning out. Got that. Then we're going to move to door number 2. We need 2 of our posts, and it's telling us to place 1 at the bottom. Good, and 1 second hole down at the top. And we get to place sticker number 6 now. Okay. Clean that up. There's a little bit of dirt on that door already. A couple little spots. So I'm glad we're using the alcohol just to clean the surface up a little bit. Make sure we don't have any issues. There's a little imperfection in there too. I think it got scraped. Dry that alcohol off. And we're going to apply sticker number 6. And we're going to try to do this the best that I can. This side is going to be a little bit different. All right. So what I did last time was I lined it up with this front edge right here. what I want to do this time. Get the gapping and spacing right. So I'm kind of looking at this one. NYC said, thank you so much for that follow, my friend. I appreciate that. Welcome. Glad to have you on board, my friend. But I'm trying to match up these so they make, so it looks the same. So I've got a little bit more space at the top on this one, but I've got a pretty good line down the other side. So we're going to pop that one in there. But like I said, NYC said, thank you so much for that follow, my friend. Welcome to the Bone Brigade. Glad to have you on board. And like I said, the problem with this is because the sticker's orange and the piece is orange, oh, what's going on, Said? All right. Welcome. Glad to have you. All right, did we get it? That's actually pretty darn good right there. I've got a clean edge down. It's looks pretty good. We're going to seal that puppy in there. And I actually was able to adjust it a little bit when we installed it. But Sad, glad you could join us. Or is it... I forget. Did you want to go by Saeed or... I think it was Saeed. Right? I think I said that right. Let me know in chat if I did. I apologize if I messed it up. I was appliquing a sticker. All right. So there we go. That puppy's done. Now we get to marry the next part to the door, which, let me see, I think we go in this way. We're going to install that like this. That's got it. And it's locked in. Okay. Now I believe step 143 is going to be putting those hinges on. We're going to grab one of those puppies and 3 of our pins. And it looks like we set it up this way this time. We're going to put one in top. Front and back. But yeah, I'm glad you could come join us. Hopefully you're doing well this fine evening. Hopefully you got outside and ran around a little bit. Made your evening a little bit better. Tomorrow's supposed to be beautiful weather too, except it's going to be cloudy and a little bit windier. All right, so we got our pieces in. Now we're going to marry it to the door. So it's going to go in this piece right here like that. Double check the picture before I snap it in. We're locked in. Now reverse it back over. And we're going to add our blue pin and our blue right here. So this goes on the end number 3. And I'll be interested to see what those axles are actually for. And then this one's going to snap in right here. All right, now we reverse the main part. It's slowly taking shape. And then we're going to marry this puppy right here. Not going to lie, I'm impressed with how well this is coming together. I was a little worried going into this that I might not be able to put this together quite the way I wanted it to. Or the way I wanted to, but it's going together nicely. So now we got that piece in. So I'm thinking once we get the other back panel pieces on here, because these doors right now are swinging freely, that will adjust it and lock everything in. And it will look lined up correctly. Because if I do that, it's kind of where it should be. But we'll see. All right. So we're done with step 145. We don't have a lot to go. What time is it? Oh, I think we're going to try to finish this tonight. We got about 15 minutes till the end of the stream. But we're going to try to finish it tonight. Although it looks like there's a lot of steps. So we're going to grind it out here, ladies and gentlemen. We started at 6:30. It's 8:45 now. So 9 or 9:30. If we go to 9:30, I'm good with that. We'll be able to get this puppy done. But if it goes past 9:30, we'll end it and we'll finish it up in another stream. And then I might introduce the next build to you then. But it would be nice if we can finish this up in two streams. All right, so step 146 is asking us to rotate the vehicle back in this direction. It's asking us to go with this is our last piece right here. And we're gonna go with two of these inserts with axles. And we're gonna place them 2 holes in. Oh, are those headrests? I wonder if those are supposed to be headrests. All right, and then we have 2 special pieces, which are these balls right here. And we're gonna attach these on top of this post and this rail. And then these are gonna attach right here. I wonder if those are right in the middle of the seats. Like the 2 gray things right here. This is a seat and this is a seat. I wonder if these little balls right here, are they supposed to be headrests? Oh, hydrate. Thank you for the 100 reminder. I'll hydrate right now. Much appreciated, much appreciated. Thank you, good friend. All right, we're gonna snap these puppies in. So what do you guys think? Are those supposed to be headrests? Or are those supposed to act like the heads of the action? I don't think that's supposed to be the head of the driver. I think those are supposed to be headrests. Well, you know what? This is a Corvette ZR1, so it is built for track racing. So I'm wondering if that's one of those helmet headrests where it keeps the driver's head from bouncing off of the back of the car. That's my guess. We'll see. We'll see as we build it. All right, so we got that part done. Now we're up to 147, so we need 3 posts. Looks like we're getting ready to put the next couple of pieces together. We're going to go with 3 posts. You think they're headrests? I think they're I don't know. They look like they should be headrests. I think you're right. I think you are right. And then we need 2 3 pieces right here. So now we're going to go... Actually, we don't need 2. We actually only need 1. Set that off the side. So we're going to go 2 outside pieces and 1 inside piece. That. Like that. So there's 1 piece. And then we're going to go with this piece right here, which is going to go like that. And then we're going to go with a 1 post. Looks like the 1 post we're going to insert right here. Lock that in. And then we take this piece and insert it on the back side. Like that. So we got that piece built. So let's see, where does this marry up with this? So this might end up being the front portion up here. The roof of the car. All right, so 148 is done. Moving on. So this is the first of our roof pieces. It looks like we're gonna need another double pin. I'm gonna go in this way. So that's lined up with the picture. Snap it all the way through. It actually gives us a post to connect to. I'll bet we'll use a connector there, which is what it looks like we're doing. All right, and then this piece, looks like we're marrying that up by snapping this through. Let's double check to make sure that looks right. What that gives us is another piece on the end here. And that matches, so that's good. All right, now, next thing it shows me is I need 2 spacers, which I want to double check. Make sure I use the right part. Yep, that's it. We've got one of these and one of these. There's actually only 2 of these in the build. So we're slowly deteriorating, or not deteriorating, but we're slowly getting rid of pieces. All right, so we got this here. It says put one on the outside. And it says put one on the inside. We've got, so that looks just like the picture. Now, we're gonna go back to what looks like the other side. So we're gonna go in L bracket, 3 of these little pieces right here. Pardon me while I get a drink. And then what else? And we need a 1-3 piece. Uh-oh. Oh, here it is. I was gonna say, it disappeared on us. Okay, so here we go. Making sure we're doing this right. It's lined up correctly. We're gonna go hole number 1. Then we're gonna go to hole number 3. Yeah, this one's a little different than the other one we just built. And then it's asking us to add the 3-piece right on top like that. So again, I'm going to double check to make sure we're correct. We're going to snap that in, then it's asking me to add the 3-piece right here. And then we're going to marry this into this piece right here. So now we have what appears to be, I'm gonna guess, a middle piece of the hood. So it's gonna go somewhere on this like that. But we have to insert decals now. Uh-oh. The next fun part. All right. So it looks like we're gonna need one of these pieces, and it's asking us to insert decal number 3, which is this one right here, across the hood. So before we do that, like I said, we're gonna treat it with a little bit of alcohol. Just to prep the surface. And again, that was a tip that I read online, that some of these stickers over the course of time start to peel off after a while. And it's usually because when people put them on, they use their hands. And the grease from their hands get on the parts. And I'm gonna pre-prep this one because I feel like this is the next part that we're gonna end up doing. But I'm just putting a little bit of alcohol in here to kind of get off any debris and to cut through any like oils from my hand or anything that might have gotten on there that would cause the decals to not stick over time. All right. So this one's a little wet still. Let's use. We're gonna use the other dry side of the Q-tip to finish drying this off. There we go. Give it a quick wave. And now we applique. So sticker number 3 is what we're applying. So it's this one right here. And it looks like we're applying it long ways like this. So I'm going to grab it on this side. So what this represents is on the ZR1 builds, they have a racing stripe that goes down the middle of the car. So sometimes they'll have it on the hood and then it will go up and it will be there across the top. So I want to make sure we've got this lined up right. Okay, so it's showing this. So now here, this is the part that's going to be tough. So I want to make sure I get this correct and not have it out of balance, because the other side's got to look that way too. Like I said, once these stickers are on, they're hard to remove. And this is kind of the part where you want to take your time. I feel like there's an easier way to do this. I'm just not doing it that way. See how it snaps right to there? Oh. This is the part where I'm OCD about it. I want to make sure it's perfect. That looks pretty good right there. I want to get it stuck. Almost had it. Looks pretty good. I think we got it. Nice. That was a good lay right there. We'll push it down. Get the bubbles out. All right, I like that one. That one worked. Let's hope that the next one goes just as smoothly as that one. All right, so we've got that piece. Now what it's asking us to do is marry the next piece, but how are we going to do that? I feel like there should be a piece right here. Am I missing a piece? I am missing. No, I'm not missing a piece. Put that on there. It's got that. So this is like that. I wonder if we're going to have a... We're probably going to have another one that pushes into there. But this is going to snap on here. This. My guess is for this piece that's loose on this end, there's going to be probably a double. I'm going to think one of these probably will push through and lock that in. That's my guess. All right. So I'm guessing the next part here, it's going to be the next panel, which it's asking us now to apply the next decal. Back to the hard part. So now we're applying decal number 1, and it's asking us to apply it that way. We're going to peel it off from this side. So what I'm using is a pair of tweezers to try to avoid getting any oils from my hand on there. It looks like we're going to go that way. And I've already treated the plastic part. We want to make this fairly similar to the other one. And I'm trying to match it up with the other one so we get a good, consistent That's a good consistent line right there. Lock that puppy in there. Not bad. I'm really happy with the way that turned out. So the spacing of the sticker is really consistent on both sides. So it will look really good. Like they say, the paint job on a car is what people see. And if there's imperfections in that, it may be the nicest car in the world, but if its outer appearance is not very clean and neat, then it's just not going to be there. It's just not going to look good. All right, so it looks like now it's asking us to apply this part here. There we go. And then this is where we add these next two parts in. So we're going to use these long black pins, which I should have. Two of those. So we need two of these. These are the last of these parts right here. And then it's asking for two. Is that what that is? That is what that is. Cut. Fantastic. All right, so what are we looking for here? So it's asking us to marry the blue piece with that piece. Insert that. Insert. There. And what we're going to do from there to lock the roof of this puppy in place. There's one, and the other side. There's two. It's hard to turn. We got it though. We got it. I like it. All right, so there's your hood. Not your hood. That's the top of your car. Misspoke there. That's not a hood. All right. Moving on to step 155. We're clearing pretty quick. Looks like we're going to go with a 5-hole, which is this right here. And again, when you're looking at it, if you're ever not sure of a piece, Lego adds the 1-to-1s in here. So you just lay the piece on there. It matches up 1-to-1. And I also need one of these small axles. And because that matches up, I know I've got the right parts. And now what it's showing me, so I need two of these actually. And I know that's, oh, that is the same piece. All right. Slide that back up and out of the way. Deal. So it looks like what we're doing is we're adding these two pieces right here. The outside. Hood. I keep calling it a hood. It's a roof. Roof panel. Not a hood. This would be the hood of the car. Down here. Roof panel. Right here. And then we're adding one small axle piece right there. So I think I figured this out too. So this is actually going to attach right here. That's what that axle piece is. This has got some play to it. This has got some play to it back there. But once these posts get put in, it's going to lock in like that. So it will look something similar to that. As you can see, it's starting to take the shape of the Corvette ZR1. And I'm really pleased with the spacing of these stickers. Just a little bit off, but they look good. All right, so we got that one. So I'm guessing now it's going to have us marry that piece together, which is what I thought. So what I was just showing you is what it's showing us in step 156. so we got double check. All right. So that's what we're doing exactly. So we're going to grab this and we're going to insert it here, and then we're going to push this post through. And because I want it in like the other side, we're going to use tweezers, kind of push it in and lock it in place. Perfect. All right, so there you have it. The hood is on. We're almost there. Really, we don't have any parts left. It's going to go pretty quick. So I think we're going to go to 9:30. At 9:30, we're going to cut out. And we should be done, I think. Okay, so we married that in, so that's good. Now part 157 is where we pop in these reds, which is going to lock in top of this. So let's double check again. This has got to slide back a little bit. Perfect. Those slid in easily. That's the nice thing about these Technic builds, is this is something, that pop part I did. That was one of the first things I did at the very beginning of the build. And now at the very end of the build, it comes into play where you end up using those to lock the hood in place. And I'm going to guess we're going to use something to attach these front rails right here, down here below this, which is why this is probably movable still. Just a guess. All right, but it has us hold this open like this. We push those two in, we got it locked in. On to step 158. Ah, there we go, yep. Now I'm starting to think like a Lego builder. I'm starting to predict the future. So now what we're doing is we're inserting these into those posts. So we're gonna push down these doors. All right, so I'm gonna do one at a time. We'll come back to that. We'll do this side first. Nice. And it actually locks into this piece right here. That is just masterful. The way that that fits together. And that just locks the hood in place. We got those two pins, so now the roof is securely attached. Starting to look like a Corvette. Very nice, very nice. All right, so 158's done. On to 159. Looks like we're building another piece. Looks like it's got an axle in it. Okay, so we need a 3x4L. Two of these, and it looks like we're going to go right smack dab in the middle. I'll actually turn this the correct way. Don't lose focus now. Be a bad time to do that. Got it. Now we're going to need two more. And we're going to do the upper posts. So now you got that piece done. Now we move on to, where are those pieces at? Okay, so I need one of those. So that's going to be, there we go. Two of these pieces. These are the last of these pieces as well too. Things are coming slowly to an end. All right, so we need two connectors. I'm gonna hold that piece out. Two connectors, and we're gonna need a black axle connector. All right, so what it's showing us is we're gonna hold this like this, insert the black axle through this direction, And then we're going to insert our 2 pins this direction. Being specifically sure we know what we're doing. We get something that looks like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this and marry it to the last hole, the back, so that it looks like this. So it matches that picture right there. Now we go to another 4x3. This is where the build pace picks up just a little bit. Leave that. Okay, so this is the last of this piece. So I'm just making sure I keep track of where I put those pieces. All right, so 162. We're going to need one of these, one long blue pin, and we're going to need cross member. Now, picture shows we're going to hold it like this. We're going to put the cross member in hole number 3 up, sliding it this way. We're going to put the blue pin in. It looks like the block is on the outside, so we're going to put it in this way. The block goes through that way, and then we're going to add that one pin right here like that. Then what it shows us is we're going to marry this to this piece right here. So we end up with something that looks a bit like this. Double check to make sure we've got everything right. That looks good. We're going to go ahead and lock it in place. Go. And then looks like we're going to go with our black. And these we need 2 short pins. We haven't used a lot of these. We haven't used a lot of those at all. All right, so what it's showing is this way, and then we're going to insert 1 short pin below and another short pin just below that one. So we have a piece that looks like that. Then it's asking us to marry that piece with this piece right here. Which locks it in. This piece is pretty intricate. This is probably a little bit more intricate than some of the stuff we've been doing recently. All right, now we need a 5-piece. Double check it on the 1-to-1 scale. And we need one of these. Checking it on the 1-to-1 scale. Should we save that one? We need that one later. We need 3 of the small blue inserts. These are small. They're hard to grab. All right. We got the piece we need. This is a 5. Just double check. It matches the 1-to-1 scale. And it looks like we're going to go 1 on the back side, 1 in the middle with a space. And we're going to marry this one right next to the other one. That. And then what it's showing is we're going to take this piece and we're going to marry it to that one right there. So it looks like that. Now I'm going to guess there's going to be an axle piece that goes through here that will lock everything together nicely. So double check the picture. Everything matches perfectly. I'm wondering, I have a feeling this is going to be for the back wheel maybe? Nah, that's not big enough. I'm just making guesses. Just making guesses. All right, part 165 says, take this and we're going to marry it through there, which is what I just said. Take it all the way until it pops. And there we go. That piece looks fantastic. On to 166. Okay. This is getting a little more intricate as we go. So we need one of these. One of these. We need one long post. All right, so step one says you're going to insert a block this way. Then we're going to insert this facing down. Okay. Then it says from this position, we're going to insert it over top of this. And this part is telling me that there's probably going to be an axle piece that goes in that side. This is a pretty intricate part right here. All right. From there, 167 takes us to two special pieces. So we're going to have this. All right, so this looks like it's going to be the back of the vehicle. And we need a two-piece and a... So we're going to actually take that, snap it down. So this gives us a wedge. Usually these are something that's like on the back of the Corvette, on the back side. And it's telling us to snap it right there. Very nice. My guess is we're probably going to end up building two of these pieces. Possibly. I could be wrong. All right, step 168. We're on this step right here. Now it's asking us to grab, I believe, this is part 122, which is this one right here. And then it's also asking us to grab one of those. Which there's just a couple of these left. All right, so that is the piece. And it looks like what am I missing here? So 22 goes like this. Yep. That's exactly right. Double check it. Sure it's right, matches up with the picture, and it does. So I connect it. This piece is going to connect through here. Now it's starting to stabilize itself. Now we're going to take the last ginormous axle and we're going to insert it into the bottom here. And this is what's going to lock this piece in. And then what's going to happen is we're going to build a second piece opposite of the other side. And this is what's going to make the back side of the Corvette ZR1. And that just locked everything in place. So everything is sealed tight now. And this is obviously a rear fender body panel. Right. Okay, so we just did 69. Now we're going to go to 170, which we need one of these, which is this right here. And it's telling us to slide that on so it looks like this. There we go. So that is on. And then looks like we're going to marry this piece up here too. So we need a gray spacer, which is right here. I've yet to use any of the gray spacers, so this is new. So what it looks like we're doing is we need one gray spacer. So we're going to take this part and we're going to insert it through right here. We're going to insert this gray spacer right there. Send this all the way through. There you go. All right. kind of free swing right there. I don't know if I like that. My guess is we're going to do something on the backside which connects it and locks it in. That matches the picture, so we're good. All right. Step 172. Ah, this is what locks it in. We're going to grab... This is the last of these pieces right here. And we're going to grab this one, and this is what locks in the far side. Go. And now begins the construction of the other side that's going to slide on there and lock that in. All right, so looks like we need one 4x3, which is that. We're going to need 2 of these pins. We're going to try to go a little bit quicker here. We got that right there showing us to lock that in like that. Lock the second one in like that. Excellent. So now we have that, and then we're going to take 2 more pins. And we're going to go top side on the 3-part. Lock that in. Lock that in. So now we've got that part built. Set that off the side. Now we're going to go 2 more pins, and we're almost out of pins too. So now you know the build is coming to an end. So 2 pins, and then I need this piece, which is the last of that piece. And I need one, what looks like a black axle with a pop, which is that part right there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this that way, insert that, turn it this way, insert our 2 connecting pins. We've got that. Now we're going to take our L piece. It looks like we're going to marry the L piece like this. That's step 175. That looks exactly like the picture. 176, we need 1 more pin. We need a crossbar pin, or cross adapter with a pin, I should say. And another L piece. And this L piece is a 4x3. So now it's showing us to go this way. I'll take this in the middle hole. Insert it this way. Then we're going to pop this extra piece right here. This is where you got to pay attention to details in the directions. If you mess this up and you put something in a little bit opposite of what it should be, it kind of messes up the complete build. Now we're going to marry these pieces together like this. So let's double check. We got this piece here like that. And I'm looking at this picture right here. We got that, that, and that. And then we're going to take this right on top. All right. Got that. All right, this is the last of our, we got 1 more long pin after this, so we're getting close. I'm thinking they put extras in. So long pin, and then we have our last one-time piece here. So now what it's going to ask us to do is we're going to insert this way. So there's a block on this, or a block ring, as you can see. We're going to insert it just like the picture shows us this way. That stops it, and then we're going to take our other piece, insert it on top like that. Now we're going to switch over to our last of our 2x2 with the axle holder. And then we're going to go with 2 of our Lego connector pins. So what that shows us is we're going to take this like this, and we're going to insert pin right here, pin right here, and then marry this piece, this, in here. Get them lined up. Double check the picture, make sure it matches. Snap it in. We're good to go. This is the last of this piece. Check it. It's a 1-to-1 match. So we know that that's right. And it's asking for 3 more pins. So we're going to take a pin on the end. Yeah, we're going to finish this tonight. Even if we go past 9:30, we're going to finish this tonight. There are very few pieces left. In fact, most of the pieces are big body panel pieces. So we got that. Now, we're looking at this like this. We're going to go across. Double check. Yep, right like that. That locks in like that. On to step 180. This is where we put in the other brown pin. Looks like we're going to go in this way. And my guess is these pins on the back side are going to be what the taillight's attached to. Slide that through there like that. We're going to end up having a taillight attach. A red Lego taillight will attach to this, I'm guessing. Just guessing. Just a little bit of a guess. All right, so that's in. Now, yep, we did have one more. All right, last piece of that. There's only 3 of those remaining. There's 2 now, and then we're going to go with a long pole. And it looks like what we're going to do, we have this here, and we're going to double check. Like the post goes in this way. Attach that puppy right there. Then this, attach that. And then we're going to attach it right like that. And then this is the piece that's going to lock on the yellow axle across the back. Getting closer, everybody, getting closer. All right. Let's finish up our bezel on the back. So we grab that, put the vent on top. Then this is going to go right like that. So the bezel's on. Uh-oh. Okay. I was looking in there. I thought I was missing a piece. We're not. Okay, so what was I doing? Okay. Yes, bezel, and now we're looking for this piece right here. It should be number 21. It is number 21. And we're going to take it, and it looks like we're attaching it like this. Double check it to the picture. Looks the same. Snap it on. There you have it. Step 183 done. On to the next step. All right, so this is where we marry. Double check our 1-to-1. We need that next. So now we're going to marry the next part over. So now this yellow axle, we're going to slide this on and lock it in. And there you have it. This is free moving, but we're going to do something here in a little bit that I'm almost positive it's going to lock it in. I'm going to guess it has something to do with this back here and the tailpipes that the ZR1 has. But I'm not sure what they're going to use for tailpipes. I'm going to guess it's these spacers right here, because the tailpipes on the ZR1 are aluminum, but they're polished aluminum. All right, so we attach that. Now we need 2 small blue posts. And it looks like Okay, looks like we're gonna attach this here. Come on. All right, this is being a bit of a bear. This is the tough part. The tolerances are so tight. There we go. You got to get it in there. All right, so we got that attached. And then what it looks like is we are going to go one pin on each side of this center steering column. So I'm going to double check. So one goes here. One goes here. Beautiful. Now I'm interested to see what's going to lock this into place too. Not quite sure what that is yet. But there are a couple pieces that are a little bit dangly. All right, on to the next part. So we need one blue. Check the 1-to-1. That's what we need there. We need one of those. Looks like we're going to take this and we're inserted in the third hole. We're going to leave it spaced out slightly. And then this is where we're going to add decal number 2 to this part. So again, real quick, we'll give it a quick wipe down with some alcohol. Just to make sure that we get any body oils off of there, which is going to allow this to stick perfectly. All right, so we got that. So now we're going to go to sticker number 2 on the sheet, which is this one right here. And it looks like we're applying it this way. So I'm going to pull it from the top down. Actually, you know what? Because we're applying it that way, I'm going to go from the opposite side. What that'll allow me to do is line it up and center it on this post. So these are actually vent intakes for the brakes on the back of the vehicle. So what this represents, this particular sticker, is that intake will direct air down to the rear brakes to kind of cool the brakes for the ZR1. We have to attach this, and I want to kind of space it right in the middle. I'm not gonna lie, that looks pretty darn good right there. That is beautiful. Spacing looks pretty good too. But it's hard to tell. Like I said, the stickers are orange and the piece is orange. So when you line it up, it's a little bit difficult to tell. All right, so it looks like we're inserting this piece right here. It's angled up too. That piece is, oh, this is what locks the doors in place too. Genius. Genius. Perfect. All right, so that piece is on. So what that did was this piece right here locked in the doors, so now they no longer move. And what's going to happen is we're going to end up pushing this piece in, and it's going to end up locking this in place as well. Beautiful. All right, so it's asking us to repeat the steps, but this time we need to flip the build around. And we're going to go back with a long peg, which this is our last long peg. And it's asking us to go back with this piece. So we take this piece here and we're going to stick it in hole number 3, like such. we're also going to cleanse any body oils. Give it a quick dry. And then we're going to apply sticker number 4, which is this one. So let's see. I want to make sure we apply it correctly. So it's going to go on this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab it from this side and line it up. Let me double check that one. That's exactly what we're going to do. So again, I'm using tweezers to pull off the decals so that don't get any body fluids on it. All right, so it's showing me to apply the sticker this way. So again, I'm going to try to line it up right in the middle. How far back did I go on the other one? Looks like I'm back just past the curve. Right about there. Although I'm not happy with that spacing. See, now what happened is because that stuck pretty good, now the sticker's curved a little bit. See, that's going on a little bit sideways. That might be good right there. Okay, let's take a look. I need to adjust it. So when I push this down, I'm going to adjust it up. Oh, no. That one's a little off. Actually, it's not too bad. It's a little bit off. But I think I was able to adjust it by moving it just a little bit. All right. Once the sticker's on, looks like we're going to attach this one here. And this is what's going to lock the doors in place. Goodly deal. And we're going to push this in over here. Lock that in. Push this in on this side and lock that in. All right. And we only have one sticker left after this. So we're getting there. All right. Looks like we're going to get ready to attach what are going to be called the downforce fins, and we're very close to finishing this build. All right, so we need 2 black pins, and we need 2 of our blue pins, with the axles on them. Very good. And then we need 2 of these T's. Okay. So these T's are all gone. We're getting ready to finish this up. All right, so we're going to take the T. We're going to insert axle into the back of the T. And then we're going to insert in like that. It says repeat that process twice. We're going to do that. It's pretty similar, so we're not going to worry about that. Sometimes on these pieces, there's little like imperfections or where they pulled the piece apart. Kind of like here's a 1. Like here, I'll show you like this right here. I don't know if you can see it, but right. Yeah, you can see it there. So right there, focus. Focus. Okay, it's tough to see. But there's a little indentation right there. So sometimes when you have two pieces opposite sides, if you have one that has that little piece on it and then the other side doesn't, it just looks odd. So make sure they're facing the same direction as when you build it. That way, you don't end up with pieces popping out. See, like I've got it that way right now. So if this goes on the opposite side, so let's look at the picture to see where it goes. We want the ones facing out. So this one is correct. I need to change this one. Okay, there we go. Now when we attach that, those two little indentations, I don't know if you can see it. It's hard to see, but there's like two little bubbles, one right there, one right there. Then on the other side, we've got two numbers. We want those to look the same on the out. Now it says attach them. We'll go to the back side. Want the blue sticking out. And it looks like we are attaching them right after the blue piece that's sticking out. We attach one here. Attach the other one. We're on this side. Big deal. Okay. 2 black axle pins. Now I'm going to guess these are the last 2 of those we have. That is correct. All right, these we are going to attach in the back of the vehicle right here. And they have to be oriented the correct direction. We're going to put the plus of the axle up. There we go. All right, this puppy's almost done. Good. Okay, all right, we're going to use the last of the 8 of these pieces. So this is our last big piece. Fits. So we're going to do a similar connection like we did on the last one. So we need 8 of these little blue pins. And this might be the last of our blue pop-ins. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one, we're doing 4 crossed and then a space. We'll do 4 crossed. And then we leave a space, and then it looks like we insert 1. Wait, it says 8 of those, though. Am I doing that right? Pay attention to the pictures. Oh, I did it wrong. I jumped ahead. So I did it wrong. So we need to put 3 across. Oh, this is going to be tough. All right. Thank the Lord I have the tweezers. Oh, man. Uh-oh. So right there is a good example of me jumping ahead too quickly. But luckily I was able to get it out. All right. So I messed that up and I shouldn't have. I was looking at this part of the picture when I should have been looking at this part of the picture right here. All right, so it looks like we got 3 across here. That's 6. And then we leave 1 space, and then put that there, then 1 space and put that. So that looks like the picture. And then it's showing us to take this and put it on the back side, over top of the double posts. Perfect. And then it's going to slot down over these side snaps. Right there. Should click into place. Just got to get them lined up. All right. Eventually. Come on. Why is that not? There we go. We got that one. There we go. That took a bit to get. All right, she's locked in. Okay. Now, the last part I think is what we're gonna end up building is gonna be the last couple of body panels and the fins. And it's already 9:48, so we're just gonna go to 10 o'clock. 15 minutes to finish this up. I think we can do it. We can do it. All right, here we go. Into the final stretch, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna grab 2 of these. They're the last 2 that we have of that. We're also gonna grab 2 of the gray axles. These are the last 2 of those that we have. We're gonna grab 5 spacers. And this is actually, we only have 1 more spacer after this. There's 4 spacers. There's 5. And then looks like we need 4 of our blue push pins. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to need 1 of the black. I believe is this right here. Is that what that is? No, that is not what that is. However, this is what that is. All right, we need 2 of those. Got it. So these are all the pieces we need. So, step 1. Black T, insert that there. Then we're going to slide this down. And then we're going to slide a spacer. I'm going to slide another one of these down. This kind of looks like a taillight setup. Or it could be the exhaust. I'm not sure yet. So boom, boom, spacer, boom. We got that. And then step 4 looks like we're adding this to cap the end. So we end up with a piece that looks like this. Then what we're doing is we're going to pop in 4. These are like little Lego adapters that allow the actual flat Legos to connect to the piece. Okay, so we got that. These are going to be the exhaust pipes. That's exactly what these are going to be. One, 2, 3, and 4. Just make sure they snap in there. They move freely, but they're locked in. So now we got that. So moving on to the next step. This is where we insert it into the back of the vehicle. So on these 2 posts right here, turn it this way. Post here, and it looks like we're inserting with those facing up. Push that in. Those are the exhausts for the ZR1. See, I was wondering how they're going to marry this, but I guess it's solid enough. We don't have to worry about it too much. This back piece is pretty much held on just by a couple of pieces. All right. Uh-oh. What was this for? Oh, I only needed 1 of those. Okay, never mind. Okay, we inserted that. All right, finishing pieces. Aha. Now we get into this. So we're gonna need 2 of those. Two of these. And it looks like we need 2 doubles and 2 finishing doubles. Perfect. All right, so it takes Looks like what we're going to do is we're going to take a 3. And then we're going to put a 2 on it like this. And then we're going to take this curve, put it on it like that. And we'll take a finishing cap, put it on it like that. So we end up with a finished curved piece. So we're going to do the same thing here. Good. Now we have 2 finished pieces. And then it's telling us to marry those on the back right here. There you go. This is where the taillight stuff's going to go up here. Excellent. Actually, there's going to be I'll bet there's a finished piece for that backside. We shall see. But we got that done. All right, next step. Yes, taillight assemblies. I knew it. I knew it. All right, so this is calling for our 2 pieces. We're actually going to stick them like this. And 4 of our red taillight lenses, which is going to give us our taillights for our Corvettes. Sweet. There you have it. Each one of these snaps onto the outside. It looks like we're just going to do a 3 on the top. A double check. Place that in there. So there's one taillight system, and then the other one goes on this side. So now we have something that is starting to resemble the backside of a Corvette. Pretty sweet. All right, the next one is that big flat black piece, and we're actually going to apply Corvette ZR1 sticker on the back side of that. And I think that's going to be the piece that goes in the middle. So it's very similar to what the license plate bracket would be on the vehicle. So this is our last decal too. So we'll go ahead and clean this off. Make sure we get any oil, anything off, so that that decal adheres to this piece like a champ. There we go, we got it cleaned. Now we're gonna grab sticker number 2, actually 7. And we're gonna get it to peel off here. Grab it at the corner. Now to place this, I want to make sure I'm using top as my guide, and I want to center it in there so I have equal spacing on both sides and top. That's not going to work. Oh man, that's stuck tight. Man, it's hard to see. That's not going to work either. Nope. Oh man. Keeps getting stuck on there. I need to tilt it. That looks like it's got this. It's not good. It's not where I want it. I need to raise this side up. Yep, that just happened. And again, taking your time. Make sure. That's pretty good. How does the spacing look? Spacing looks pretty good, so we're going to seal it down. Perfect. Not exactly perfect, but I got it spaced, so when it sits in there, it'll at least be centered. It'll look good. There you got it. The Corvette ZR1 rear badge. And that's going to attach right there. So now you're starting to get a finished look. Okay, so we're done with stickers. So we can package up our supplies for stickers and set that off to the side for the time being. And we applied that. There's only a few more pages left too, so we're getting really close to the end. Really, really close to the end. We'll finish this before bedtime, I hope. All right, next part. We're gonna finish this puppy up tonight. Looks like we need 2 of these. These are the last 2 pieces. And we need the last gear. All right, and it looks like these are actually gonna be what attaches the wing to the vehicle. So we're gonna attach one here. And attach one here. Now the Corvette ZR1 and this gear right here, we're going to attach on the back right here. So what this does, this gear on the back, we're not going to push it all the way in. We're just going to go up. So the gear on the back is what allows me to steer the wheels in the front. So this little gear in the back. So that's just a nifty little extra thing they added there to kind of give you the option. So if you're playing with it, I guess you can steer it while you're playing with it. But yeah, back to what I was saying. The rear spoiler on the ZR1 is huge because it's meant to be a track race car. Well, it's not meant to be. It's kind of meant to look like one, but you can drive them on the road. But the ride quality on a ZR1 on regular road, not the greatest. It's kind of a rough ride. What are we missing here? So it looks like we need those 2 pieces and we need this piece right here. So it looks like we're going to insert this here. Then this is piece, okay, wait. Slide that away. Pay attention to what's going on. So piece 22 is what we're supposed to be doing. So we're going to insert that there. And then now we're going to take one of these, insert that across. Very good. Then it looks like we're going to insert. So we need. This is where I get worried. There is one of those pieces left. So I'm looking at this, double check to make sure that's what it is. That it is. We need this last gray piece and we need this piece right here. It looks like we're going to attach gray piece across. Then we're going to attach that like that. So this is going to slide on. I want to double check to make sure I got this right. That looks like it's matched up. Looks like it's going to work. Slide it down. All right, so what this is going to allow us to do, this post or this axle is going to go into the axles down here, and that's going to allow you to increase or decrease the downforce on the rear of the vehicle. Just one of those little things that's interesting that you wouldn't think when you're building this. Okay, so we did that. Let's flip to the next page. Looks like we're now going to take another 2-piece and we're going to attach it here. Double checking. Because this is pretty intricate. I want to make sure I get this right. Double check to make sure I did that right. That's what it shows. Then we're going to put a 3rd piece on. Maybe it's not adjustable, because that kind of locked everything in place so you can't move it. Interesting. All right, so we put the 1 piece on. Now we go back with the last. So this is the last of this piece. And the last of this piece. And then we attach piece 21. There's your rear spoiler. And reverse direction of the car. Go ahead and insert the rear spoiler. And there it is. A high boy rear spoiler on the back of the Corvette ZR1. Now I'm guessing these last couple of panels that we snap in are going to be quick snaps too. All right, so now we're going to do the mirrors real quick, and that is going to be the last of those 2 pieces that we have right here. So this is the last of those. You need to grab the mirror pieces, and it looks like we're going to grab the blue snap with axle pins. Fantastic. It looks like what we're going to do is attach them this way, then attach that like that. Again, attach it to the front, then attach that way. And then it looks like we're going to add the mirrors. And it's telling me to put them at level 2, so we're going to snap these puppies in here. Those are kind of loose too, so we're going to have to make them look correct. Yep. So these are free moving right here. So these are the mirrors. So I want them level, straight out. And all we have left now, all the parts are gone, except for the trim pieces. So we will complete this build tonight. All right, so I want to line up these mirrors, make sure they're flat, pointed in the right direction. Perfect. Excellent. All right. Now it looks like we're going to put on 4 of these. Let's look at these. These are, looks like the pieces that go over the wheel wells. And there's already pieces that are set up to snap on that. So now we're just going to take these and attach them on each side here. So one here, one on this side. Yep. Haha. We finished it, baby. Look at that. Snap that on. snap this puppy on back here. And put this on. All that's left after this, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The vehicle without the wheels. So the Corvette ZR1 build. Step 205. Now we go to the last step, which is applying the wheels to the vehicle. All right, so we're actually going to use the white piece of paper. We have 4 rims for this baby and 4 tires. And these particular rims right here, they're dual purpose. So if you look, these are the 5 spokes. That's what traditionally would be on a Corvette. But if you flip it over, there's a secondary build you can do on this. And it's actually a hot rod build. And these are actually hot rod steel rims. And that would not look appropriate for a Corvette ZR1. So we're going to go with the Sport 5 spokes on this side, if you can see it. So we're going to look to see what the best looking side of the tire is. And it looks like the tires have writing on both sides. That is the same. So we're just going to find what side looks the nicest and doesn't have any imperfections on it. And that's the side we're going to use for the outs. I think we're going to go here. Pop that on. There's 1. Here's 2. Double check to make sure we got a good non-marked up. We want the best looking side of the wheel out. Some pieces on here that are, right, that looks like the best side. And last but not least, perfect. All right. There you have it. We got 4 wheels. The last thing to do is to put the wheels on our Corvette ZR1. So let's put the left side on first. I'm going to hold the wheel stable. Slide that on. So there's 1, 2. Go ahead and flip her over. Finishing touch. 3. And ladies and gentlemen, the last wheel, which is the final part of this project. And officially, the Corvette ZR1 is complete. So like this is the cool part, like you can see the pistons. I actually have one getting hung up in here. I don't know if I like that. See if we can adjust this just a little bit. There we go. So you can see the pistons go up and down. And by using the steering in the back, which is this right here, you can do a 3-point turn. All right, so let's go back this way. Not bad. There you go. Corvette ZR1 build, Lego Technic, in the book. Looks pretty sweet, not gonna lie. I was a little nervous going into the build, but I'll be doggone. It turned out pretty nice. This was enjoyable. I really enjoyed this. So again, like I said, I have a particular fond spot in my heart for Corvettes. I've actually owned two in my lifetime. One was a restoration, a resto mod, which I was eventually able to sell to help me purchase the Corvette that I currently have, which is very, very similar to this particular Corvette. And actually, when the sun's out and we get a little bit better weather, I will do I'll do a side-by-side comparison to let you guys look and see what that looks like. But here's what the front end looks like. You got your Corvette slanted lights in there, which is pretty cool. It's got a nice curved front end in here. Here's your ZR1 front. I don't know if they're called bezels, but they're like little aerodynamic pieces. Give downforce to the vehicle. Top looks good. This is definitely a ZR1 rear fin or a rear spoiler. Just sweet. Now the part that really impressed me about this build was the gearbox. It's a differential gearbox. So when one wheel spins, like it doesn't make the pistons go on the engine. So both the wheels have to be spinning in the same direction to get those pistons up front to spin. So this ZR1's almost like it's got a big block Chevy in there. Customized engine. But that's it right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is our Corvette ZR1. I almost like to do an extra custom on this. See how the rims are black? I almost feel like we could paint those rims like a silver and give it like almost a chrome rim look. Because some of these have the chrome rims on them. This does not. Yeah, how awesome is that? So there's a look at the back side. There's a side view. Roof down. Other side, we'll flip it up this way. And front. And I'm not gonna lie, it feels pretty sturdy, so if I accidentally drop this, it's not gonna break apart. There might be a couple pieces that come off, but I think for the most part, fairly strong build. You're not gonna have any issues. All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have completed the Corvette ZR1 build. And I am very pleased with the way this turned out. Fantastic. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for the Corvette ZR1 build. I appreciate that. We are finished with this build. We have, how many builds do we have left? I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish up we're gonna change gears, and then the next build that we're gonna do is gonna be the Ducati. So we have a Ducati Lego Technic set. We're gonna build that one next. So next Tuesday, we will start on the Lego Technic Ducati because we just finished the Corvette ZR1. So this will be our next build. So if you're interested, I'm going to say this has 646 pieces. It has more pieces than the Corvette ZR1. So the Corvette ZR1 took us 2 streams to do. I'm gonna guess that this is probably gonna end up, it's a little bit smaller, maybe. So I'm thinking this is also gonna take us 2 streams to finish this one as well. So that's what you can expect the next time. So we'll be doing Corvette, when we finish the Corvette, we'll be doing the Ducati motorcycle with 664 pieces next. That'll be our next build, which will be Tuesday next week at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time in the United States. Now, if you don't follow me on Facebook, I also stream on Facebook. In fact, we have a rather large community over on Facebook. Right now, we just passed, I believe, 1,500 and is it 15? 1,515, or we might be 1,532. I'm not sure, but we're right around there. So that community is growing at a very solid pace. But we are going to be streaming on Facebook Thursday evening. I even might throw a stream in there tomorrow night too, because I have to keep my level up status. But we'll be streaming at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time in the United States on Thursday night. We'll be playing DayZ on the Apocalypse of Enoch server. If you're not familiar with DayZ, it's a survival game. And the Apocalypse of Enoch server is actually a server based off a book series by Shane Moore titled The Apocalypse of Enoch. There's actually 3 books in the series right now, and I've read all 3. And there's actually a 4th book in the series coming out, and I'm excited to tell you something, but I'm not going to tell you yet. There's actually a character in the book, and that character is based off of somebody. I'm not going to tell you who it's based off of, but when the book comes out, if I get a chance, I'll geek out about that a lot. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, there's a 4th book coming out on the Apocalypse of Enoch series, and it's a survival series about infection, and it's got a twist to it. So if you like DayZ or Walking Dead, that type of horror action genre, these books kind of fit into that niche. So if you're interested, check that out. But I have some more stuff coming with that, so I'm excited about what's to come with that series. So that's pretty awesome. All right, so that's it for me. Like I said, Thursday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Come join me over on Facebook. Facebook.gg/GutsyGeist, www.facebook.gg/GutsyGeist, and you can join us over there for some survival game FPS. I play some Call of Duty. We're definitely going to be playing some Battlefield 6 when that comes out a little bit later this year. We're going to get heavily into that game because I do miss me some Battlefield 6. And we also play other survival games like Rust. Valheim is another one that we play. And I usually play on PC. So come join me. I would love to have you be a part of our community. Thank you to anybody that followed tonight and last week. Welcome to the community. I salute you all because you are all now officially Boneheads and members of the Bone Brigade. So welcome. Glad to have you on board, and I will catch you all in the next one, which will be Tuesday for the Lego Ducati, Thursday over on Facebook if you're interested in catching me playing some video games. All right. Stay safe. Be well, everybody. And I'm going to end the stream.